Well, hey guys, sure have missed you. Hope you had a great spring break. We're back at it now this morning. We're going to be looking at continuing our study in chapter 9 on linear equations. And I do hope that you had a great break and that you are doing well and that you are resting and getting stuff done. And I hope your spring break was a good one for you. Mine was good. I've started working a little bit helping out the community by making some masks for Wake Med Hospital. Been kind of fun doing that. All right, but I just want to let you know that I'm glad you're back. If you have not caught up on your grades from before spring break, you need to do that ASAP. You can look at GradeLink and see the zeros. If there are a zero there, that doesn't mean it's permanent. The zero means that you need to get that assignment done and to get it to me as quick as possible. I will make a deadline for the spring break, pre-spring break will be on Friday this week. After that, all zeros will stand, and you'll need to get that way. Remember now that these are participation grades. Some of them are quiz grades, some are participation grades. If you don't complete them, you get a zero, and that makes your grade go down. We will have a quiz and a test, and that's just all open book. Remember that. You do not have to worry about, oh, I can't remember. Just use your book. It's fine. We know that this is a little difficult from a long distance, but make sure to complete all your assignments on time and to catch up if you are already behind. All right, today we're going to continue in chapter 9.6. That will be on page 374 if you want to have your book with you. You will not need graph paper today, but you will need graph paper tomorrow for our lesson. So if you want to go ahead and get ready on page 374, if I didn't say that right. Okay, all right, so we're going to begin looking at the slope-intercept form of a linear equation today. And so before we do, we're going to do the lesson opener. And the lesson opener is to solve for y. Notice each equation solving for y. I'm going to pause just a moment, give you a minute to get it all done. If I begin the recording again and you're not done, just pause it and go ahead and solve them, and then I will show you the answers. I'm just trying to save my YouTube time and data. So go ahead and solve for y. You want y on the left side of the equation, and then you'll have an equals and something. All right, so first for number one, let's review just to be sure. Remember, you're going to minus 4 on both sides. Subtract 4. 2y equals 6. Divide both sides by 2. 2y divided by 2 is y. And it leaves the y alone on the left side now. Now 6 divided by y is 3. So your answer should be y equals 3. All right, now you go ahead and solve the rest of these equations. Pause if you need to, and then you can check your answers. I'm going to continue on. Y equals x plus 5. Notice that we added x to both sides. Notice the placement of x. Whenever you're solving linear equations, x must always be beside the equals mark. That's going to be important in our lesson today. Y equals negative x plus 5. You probably have y equals 5 minus x. Remember to place the x next to the equals mark on the right side. Y equals 6x plus 12. Again, watch those negative signs. Don't let them scare you. Remember, you're adding 6x to both sides. All right, and there we go. All right, there's your lesson opener, solving for y. If you can solve for y, this is going to be an easy lesson for you today. Down to what we call now a standard form of a linear equation. The standard form, how do you know you have a linear equation that you're working with? You'll know that by the ax plus by equals c. That's standard form. You see an x and a y. Now, a, b, and c represent just regular normal numbers, integers, positive or negative integers. So that's how you know. If you have an x and a y, you know you have a linear equation. Now, does it mean they're both on the same side? No, they could be mixed around. Here's an example. Here's 2x plus 3y equals 4. Notice x and y. That's a linear equation. Notice 2, 3, and 4 are just normal numbers, and you would just solve for y if I was asked you to do. Okay? Now, what we're going to do now, what you did earlier in the lesson is that you did the slope-intercept form. You solve for y because parts of this equation when we solve for y are special. The slope-intercept form of a linear equation is y equals mx plus b. The slope of the line is m. So when you solve for x, the number in front of x was your slope. Remember we worked on slope last week. All right. Now, notice that b is the intercept. So whatever we had there, b with 0 in the x position, and b is our y-intercept. So if I have a point on a line, and I know the slope, I can graph that line. Let's take a look at some more. Find the slope and y-intercept of this line. Okay, let's see what we know. Y equals mx plus b. Therefore, the slope is 3. The number in front of x will always tell you up 3, in this particular case, up 3, right 1. It's a positive slope. Okay. Notice the intercept is 0, negative 2. So if I was going to solve this equation, I would go to 0, negative 2, my dot. Remember that's on the y-axis, up and down. All right, and you're going to count up 3 from negative 2 over 1. We'll show that. I'll show more about graphing later, but right now let's just find out what m and b is. Notice b is negative 2. Therefore, the y-intercept is negative 2. Remember the sign in front goes with it. Good. Example. Change 2x minus y equals 10 to slope-intercept form. Okay, we'll do that. All right, notice that we're going to subtract 2x on both sides. All right, so we have negative y equals negative 2x plus 10. All right, now, y is not by itself though. Remember, you must divide by negative 1. Y equals 2x minus 10. Therefore, if I was going to graph this linear equation, I go to 0, negative 10. And my slope is up 2, right 1, because it's a positive slope. Notice x, the number in front of x is positive 2. Change the following equations to slope-intercept form and find the slope. And I'm going to go ahead and move along. And remember, we're going to subtract x from both sides. Y equals negative x plus 7. M equals negative 1. We notice the number in front of x is negative 1. The intercept is 0, 7. All right, let's see if you can get the next one. If I'm going too fast for you, just pause it. Y equals 3x plus 2 because you solve for y. Notice the number in front of x is m. My intercept is 0, 2. Therefore, you can go to 0, 2, and notice that the slope is up 3, right 1. Let me go back to number 1 real quick. Notice that the slope is negative this time. Or you go to 0, 7, and negative slope means down 1, right 1. Down 1, right 1. And remember, all your slopes are over 1, okay, unless you have a fraction. We'll talk about that. All right. Your slope, y equals 2, m equals 1. Y equals x plus 2, sorry. And m equals negative 1. And your intercept is 0, 2. All right. So what I'd like to see in your papers when you do work for me is solve the equation for y. After you solve the equation for y, give me m equals. And under that, you give me b equals. So in the case of number 3, you'd have m equals 1 under your final equation, and b equals 0, 2 in parentheses form. That's how you show me that you know what. All right, sorry guys, I didn't get your assignment to you. Molly started barking just about the time I was about finished. UPS man came to the door. So anyway, let me give you an assignment I want you to work on. This will be due by midnight tomorrow night, and that will be on page 377 of your book. And you see she's still barking at the UPS man. All right, so you're going to do number 7, 8, and 9 on page 377. All right, and then we'll talk more about this later as we go through our lesson for tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye-bye.